work with people that I'm convinced are going to be safe to the community.
He says several of those clients can't speak for themselves publicly because they attend Alcoholics Anonymous.
I have represented many individuals, including veterans, who are in recovery, have been in recovery for years, haven't touched a substance in years, and are still being denied.
This sheriff's office internal document makes it clear. If someone has attended AA, NA, or detox, no matter the year, employees should deny them.
This issue is a really personal one to me. My mother's an addict, and I grew up going to AA and playing with the children in the rooms, as we call them. So I understand addiction.
Not only does Shook believe in redemption, he says federal law supports that too, defining an addict as someone who's remained a habitual user endangering others or has lost the power of self-control.
Nate Morbido, WCNC Charlotte.
You know exactly who you
The
are.
never camera-shy sheriff initially refused to answer our questions on camera.
Why I want to talk to you? I'm talking to you now.
So after weeks of trying to convince him otherwise, we let his office know, while not our preference, we intended to interview him in a public setting.
So tell me, why are you all consistently denying concealed carry permits
It is
for
a process.
for people in active recovery?
It is a process of appeal process. They have a time to appeal.
It costs thousands of dollars to appeal.
That's the process.
So
It's a process.
you're putting the responsibility on those people.
No, that's the responsibility of their rights.
They are in active recovery, some people for 30 years, and you're denying them.
I deny them.
Your office is denying them. How is that fair?
Process of the judicial system. Process of the
But the
judicial
process
system.
starts with you.
Sheriff Gary McFadden told us his department's process is a carryover from past sheriffs.
The law defines an addict as a habitual user who endangers the public or has lost the power of self-control.
And insisted his office is always bound by the law.
I would grant people freedom if I could, but the law says differently.
I just read you the law.
Right.
If someone is not by law an addict, they should not have their concealed carry permit denied.
And if they don't agree with the process, they appeal it.
In a prior statement, the department noted every application is carefully evaluated as a unique set of data and pointed out less than 10% of concealed handgun permit denials are appealed and a vast majority are upheld. We found more than 20 cases since the sheriff took office where people appealed and judges overturned their denials,
The sheriff's decision was not a reasoned and reasonable decision.
including in Chris Cranston's case.
The $7,000 paper.
That appeal cost him thousands of dollars. A judge found when it came to his rights,
I fought the law and I won.
the sheriff got it wrong, putting McFadden, not Cranston, on the other side of the law. Nate Morbido, WCNC Charlotte.
You can watch Nate's full unedited interview with Sheriff McFadden right now on our streaming platform WCNC Plus, which you can download on Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku.
Be right here in the ground.
Me too.
Because we have a beautiful day here across the Carolinas. Now, there are some areas that are dealing with a little bit extra cloud cover. Check it out. You can see some enhanced cloud cover further off towards the east. You have that spiraling low pressure system that was part of the reason why we saw all that rain yesterday. And there's
Right, we should
also
have
decent cloud
everyone
cover
joining.
heading up into the mountains. So let's
Kick it
get
off to
right
Senator
it.
Tillis.
You can see a beautiful blue sky.
Thanks everybody
right
for
Monroe,
joining.
using that as an
We're
example,
going
but
to
check it
Recording
out
in
on top of
progress.
Beach Mountain. You have your
We're
head
going
literally
to
in the
begin
clouds, so you
a
can see that cloud
weekly
cover right here. It's a little bit thicker
update
right along
on
the
our
Tennessee
efforts
border.
in D.C.
So
to
in
secure
between, such as
disaster
Charlotte,
relief
that's
funding
where
for
we have
Western North
the best
Carolina.
images
And I
across
thought
the area.
yesterday, because
Here
I
in
did
Boone, I was hoping
what's
we
referred
could
to as
shift
a
to the
unanimous
skyscape
consent
right here, but as
request,
this is zoomed
I would
in here, you can
describe
see
what I was
and
attempting to
not
do
too many people
today.
going in there, but the sky,
And
trust me, is
one of my
a little bit on the
colleagues,
cloudier
Republican
side. We're gonna
colleagues,
pick up more
Rand
clouds to
Paul,
work with through the
objected
day.
to it.
These are those
But I
common
really
like
wanted
fairly cumulus
to
clouds, so
explain
turn
what
partly
we were
cloudy
doing
through the
yesterday
afternoon,
and
not
the
too
path
shabby.
ahead.
Temperatures in the
Yesterday,
mid-60s
we
and right around
tried to
50
get
degrees in
unanimous
Boone. So here's a
consent.
future cloud. You see
99
those
other
clouds,
Senate
eventually they're going to
members
fade out, so
had
staying a
consented.
little bit
Rand
longer
Paul
right along
was
the
the lone
Tennessee
member of
border,
the Senate
heading into
who
early tomorrow morning. But then check it out. We really
respectfully
cleared the slate through
disagreed
your Saturday
and
afternoon.
objected
Saturday
to a
afternoon's
measure that we
picture
wanted to
perfect.
send to the
But it's not
House,
until
and it was
your Sunday afternoon that
an
we have some more of those
appropriation
upper-level
of
clouds
about
starting to move back
$800
in.
million,
But no disturbance. It's
about
really affecting the
$500
weekend.
million of
Tonight,
which would
we dropped down to
replenish
40 degrees.
the
By the way, this is where we
SBA
should
fund,
be
which
for
is
a lot of this time
absolutely
in the season. We
essential
just haven't
to
been
begin
anywhere close to that.
fulfilling
And our
claims
lows are
that have
going to
been
be pretty much either side of 40 degrees tonight.
receiving an approved application from the Small Business Administration
And now we're being told that they will be receiving funds as soon as Congress appropriates. So the notion that somehow the Small Business Administration is holding back money is false. The fact of the matter is they do not have money in this account, and they do not have the flexibility to move money into the account unless Congress acts. So this is one of several areas that we have to fund. So the small business loan, this $500 million, is only a part of a series of appropriations we'll have to do either in the lame duck or the beginning of the new Congress next year. We also have to do a supplemental for agriculture. In our state, we have an estimated $4 billion in uninsured crop losses. In Georgia, they have roughly the same amount, about $3 billion, and we can go down the line. So that's why it's so important to get as much funding in as quickly as possible. The Small Business Administration, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Transportation. We will ultimately have to have disaster supplementals in every bucket. And the point that I was trying to make yesterday on the Senate floor is we have had a history of never passing a disaster supplemental that required an offset. An offset meaning a pay for. Obviously, we have to find, ultimately, we've got a $35 trillion debt that we've got to retire. But now, when you have tens of thousands of people hurting in Western North Carolina, thousands of jobs hanging in the balance, this is not the time to worry about the debates that we're having in Washington. It's time to help people in Western North Carolina and the other states that were impacted by Helene. And so we intend to go back to the floor next week, make another attempt at getting this funding. It could have additional funding requests in it, and we're going to continue to do it until we secure funding for Western North Carolina. If we don't, we will lose businesses in North Carolina. They cannot make it through the winter. They've lost their peak season month of October, November, and December. They can't make it through the winter unless we provide support. And I know in the rarefied air of Washington, everybody thinks people can wait. But a business owner who's lost a home, maybe lost a loved one, and lost a business doesn't really have time to wait. And those are the people that I'm advocating for. Happy to answer any of your questions.
If you just want to raise your hand, I can help unmute you too if you have a question for the senator. I'm not seeing anything. If you have any follow-up questions or you have any information or data you'd like to hear about, feel free to reach out to William or myself. We'd be happy to help you out.
And again, we'll be doing this next week. We'll be going to the floor. If you have any questions, thank you for dialing in. If you have any questions, contact my office. Have a great weekend.